Partner, mag-start tayo.
Oh, hello partner.
May napansin lang ako, partner. Ano ba yung binabasa mo?
Oh, eto ba? Well, I've decided to be very serious on my health and diet. And this health and home book has a lot of things to share.
Napakaganda nga ang aklat na yan, partner. Sapagkat diyan ko rin natutunan ang pagluluto ng mga masustansyang pagkain. Kaya doon sa mga maalaga sa kanilang kalusugan, basahin niyo po ang aklat na ito.
Speaking of good and healthy food, I believe marami sa ating mga kaproclaim na nanonood ngayon that could really relate on my situation. Those that have tried dieting, yet failed, but then again, they tried to do so.
Bago yan, partner, nais po namin batiin ng magandang gabi ang aming mga taga-subaybay. Kumusta po kayo?
Once again, we are now in the 13th day of
Proclaim!
Well, it seems so hard at first to do dieting, but with God's help, it will be very easy.
Tama yan, partner. Kailangan po nating piliin ang tamang kakainin upang magkaroon po tayo ng magandang kalusugan at hugis ng ating pangangatawan.
I have to agree on that. As a Christian, our deeds should reflect what we eat. As the saying goes, what we eat is what we are. Kaya bukod sa hindi pagkain ng mga pinagbabawal, we need to be sure to choose healthy food like fruits and vegetables.
Brothers and sisters, kung kayo po ay may mga katanungan muli, ay patuloy nyo lamang pong ipadala sa mga numero na inyo pong nakita sa ating pong screen.
Yes, you can call us with those numbers flashing on the screens or comment down below.
Without further ado, let us learn again and listen to our speaker tonight, Dr. Eileen, Baylon, Bigtas.
Yes, as we begin, let us first sing our theme song to be followed by an opening prayer.
All creation has a language, words to say what must be said. All day long the heavens whisper, signing word in scarlet red. Amber rays and crimson rainbows, twinkling stars and flashing light, punctuate the heaven's statement. God is glorious, perfect, right. Yes, God is glorious, perfect, right.
All day long the sun proclaims it, like a bridegroom dressed in white, coming from his tent to greet them. All his guests feel his delight. Words of love and warmth he whispers, warning all who hears his voice. Oh, be glad and share my table, dance and celebrate, rejoice, dance and celebrate, rejoice. All creation sings his praises, earth and heaven praise his name. All who live come join the chorus, find the words his love proclaim. All creation sings his praises, earth and heaven praise his name. All who live come join the chorus, find the words his love proclaim. Find the words
us pray. Almighty God and our Father, we would like to thank you for your love tonight. We ask that this be with our brother and sister who are watching and listening to your words. Please help us to know you more and be like your Son Jesus. Thank you for your listening to and answering our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Ang kabutihan ng Diyos ay dakila, at kanyang awa ay walang hanggan. Ang pag-ibig niya'y magpapasakit, habang ako'y nabubuhay.
Pagmamahal ng Diyos ay dakila, kanyang pag-ibig ay walang katulad. Ang kabutihan niya'y mapapasakit, habang ako ay nabubuhay. Ikaw, Jesus, ang aking kalakasan, maaasahan sa lahat ng panahon. Ang aking puso'y tumitiwala sa iyo, masasalamat magpakailanman. Ikaw, Jesus, ang aking katarungan, kapangyarihan at aking katapangan. Aking papuri kung ibibigay sa iyo, masasalamat magpakailanman. Ang katapatan ng Diyos ay dakila, kanyang pangako lahat ay totoo.
Okay, good day, everyone. And I am so glad and privileged to be a part of the Gospel Outbreak Proclaim. And I am health coach Eileen Baylon Bigtas, and I'm so happy to be with you again. And so my part is on the gospel health. And that is why, if it's health, I want to share with you how good, how gracious was God, especially when it comes to nature. We have to come in close in contact with nature for us to appreciate the need and maintain our very own health. That is why it says in Psalms 19, verse 1, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. What does it imply? It implies that there is one under control of everything on this earth, including the firmament, just like the sun and the moon, they shine on its own time. They have their own time and they know when to shine. Okay, so just like also our vegetations. So they only need to have the water, the sunlight, and the soil, and definitely they'll give us the food that we need. So it's part of the law that they just follow. And also the same thing with melons, like these fruits. Before I'm wondering why these melons only comes in summer. And so I found out that it might be that the Lord wants us to what? To provide the thirst that we have during summer. And so this is the reason why they give us, and these melons who are so water, full of water, gives us the fruit in season during summer season to hydrate us. And so let us read one of some quotes that I love to read. Not by its own inherent energy does the earth produce its bounties, and year by year continues motion around the sun. An unseen hand guides the planets in the circuits of the heavens. The God of heaven is constantly at work. It is by his power that vegetation is caused to flourish, that every leaf appears and every flower blooms. Every drop of rain or flake of snow, every spire of grass, every leaf and flower and shrub testifies of God. These little things so common around us teach the lesson that nothing is beneath the notice of the infinite God. Nothing is too small for his attention. It tells us that we are under the control of our Creator. And that is the reason why I want to share with you laws about everything that in the governance that we have. We have such law, and of course we have the 10 commandments. And in the nature, we have the natural law or laws of nature. And one of that is, in the science, it is called biorhythm. So today, I would like to share with you what is biorhythm and what does it need to have to understand, especially when it comes to our health. Bio means life, and rhythm is actually the timing, the time of our life, that this cannot be distorted and should only be followed, just like the sun and the moon, the vegetations, and the ones that I've shown to you a while ago. So this chart here will give us an understanding that we really have a natural laws, like at 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. down below, you can read that was our deepest sleep. And 7:30, melatonin secretion stops. That means we should be awake and do our chores. Bowel movement at 8:30, highest testosterone secretion for men, and of course the highest blood pressure, it's at 6:30. And at 9 p.m. melatonin secretion starts. We need to be in bed by 9 p.m. so that close all the lights and let the melatonin secretes. So this is the natural law of our body. So this is the biorhythm, just like the monthly period of a woman, that it is only 28-day cycle. If you have missed your monthly period, or maybe you have earlier or longer or prolonged menstrual period, that means there's something wrong with our system. And so Just like again, our human life cycle. We became a baby, child, teenager, adult, and we become old and we die. Well, if you die early, then that is not the biorhythm. You see, God has allotted a time, a day, and a year for us to enjoy the privilege we have on this earth. But if we die early, so that means there's something wrong, or maybe we didn't follow biorhythm. So when we eat, well, of course, we need to move our bowel. We cannot just eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the next day we don't move our bowel and eat again our breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we did not move our bowel. Have you experienced that? Well, if you experience that, that means there's something wrong in our body that might be we did not follow biorhythm. So let's continue. In Acts, it says we live and move and have our being. The pulse, the heartbeat that we have is under the control of our Creator. So He knows everything. So let us give more. Let us expound biorhythm for us to understand it further. Okay, so let's start by science. According to the Journal of Pineal Research, researchers are discovering that today's 24/7 culture is causing people to disrupt their internal clocks. Remember, we have internal clocks, the laws of our nature, which even our own body follows. But our culture, the 24/7 culture, disrupted it. Let us understand more. So I would like to read one quote from Ellen White, a co-founder of the Seventh-day Adventists, written 1866. Oh, by the way, most of her books I love most, but I just want you to understand that it is actually a medically updated after this period of time. Okay, so it says in here, the majority of the diseases which the human family have been and still are suffering under, they have created by ignorance of their own organic health and work perseveringly to tear themselves to pieces, and when broken down and debilitated in body and mind, send for the doctor and drug themselves to health or to death. I'm sorry. So I'm not saying that you don't go to the doctor to have a diagnosis, but the point here is that the suffering that we have, the diseases we have, is actually created by our ignorance. It is actually not following the laws of our body. Even the moon follows the rhythm, and when the moon shines, we need to sleep, and that is where melatonin secretes. When we close our eyes and the environment we have are definitely dark, it would the body or the eyes would respond to that darkness, and it will respond to the pineal gland and tells that it should release melatonin, and we will get sleep. But then, because of our culture, when the moon shines, what would we do? We open the lights, do everything, all the gadgets, and then we don't fall asleep and we experience insomnia. Is it actually a disease? No, it is actually caused by the what? Disobedience from the laws of health. And when the sun shines, just like what we have read on the chart a while ago, that at 7:30, melatonin secretion stops. And that is the reason why we need to go and work and do all the chores that we need to do for the day. Okay, so that is the environment. How about our very own body? Let's study. So this is some of the biorhythm that I want you to know about the physiological function of our body. Physiological means how they function, okay? So just like, let's start with dental anatomy. So you can see different teeth here, right? And when you see them, definitely you would have an idea on what are the food fitted for those different kinds of teeth. And so I would like to give a difference between a carnivore, especially the canine that they have, and of course the herbivores like us humans, the canine that we have. So you see the tiger has a long fangs and a sharp one. Humans don't have it. What's the reason why they have such kind? It is because the sharp claws and teeth are for killing and tearing their food. With us, well, of course, these teeth of ours cannot do that. And of course, we can never use our fork to what? To eat those living flesh of the animals. But of course, we don't do this. We're not allowed. Whether we force it, we cannot. But the tigers can enjoy and tear and rip off the flesh of those dead animals. So basically, we can understand that biorhythm emphasizes that they are fitted to eat the flesh, but our teeth are not fitted to eat the flesh of the animals. And then let's continue. So the banana is well, it's been 6 months that the Lord has let it grow, but did we follow in eating it? Well, maybe as an example, let us continue and look for our friend here, the monkeys. They know how to eat them. They will just peel it and eat it up. But us humans, sometimes we do a lot of things about banana, especially Filipinos, love to have banana cue to run everything. And so the meat, for us to eat it, we don't do it the same that way. We don't just bite the flesh of that meat. So what do? We cut it, and then we chop and cut it, and then what else are we doing? We actually put a lot of spices, cook them so that it will be palatable to us. So how about our digestive system? So the human digestive tract is about 4 times as long as in the carnivorous animal. So it's a lot longer. Our digestive system is a lot longer than the carnivores. That is why the food they've got doesn't rot in their system, but the food that we have, if you don't have lots of fiber, then we suffer from constipation. So what else? Aside from the digestive system, part of the digestive system is actually our acid. So the stomach acid of a carnivore is 10 times stronger than that of human and can be 100 or even 1,000 times stronger. That is why even though there's maybe a lot of worms in there, they can just eat that and they never suffer any diseases, right? So that's a difference. What else? Of course, we can never argue with these carnivores, and the flesh of that dead animals is not palatable for us. So for them, it is very, very much palatable. Okay. So again, it only shows that the body and our digestive system, our mouth, our teeth is not fitted to eat the flesh of the animals. Our saliva and urine. What is the pH of the saliva and urine, the condition of our saliva and urine? All of the plant-eating creatures, including healthy humans, maintain alkaline saliva and urine most of the time. So this should be in alkaline form. If you love fatty foods, that means your saliva is in acid condition, and it's not right. But the saliva and urine of the meat-eating animals, however, is acidic. And this acid actually is 10 times, 100 times, even 1,000 times greater than that of us. How about the uricase? What is uricase? Okay, this is for those who are afraid of the uric acid. So let's understand. True carnivores secrete an enzyme called uricase to metabolize the uric acid in flesh. We secrete none, and so must neutralize this strong acid with our alkaline minerals, primarily calcium. So where do we get our calcium? From our bone. Why do we need to secrete minerals to neutralize the acid? Because the protein from animals are called high protein. The protein from the plant are called lightweight polypeptide. It's a light protein. That means it can easily be digested by us. It also has protein, but it can definitely be digested in our system. But this, because it's very high in acid, so to neutralize the acid, we literally leach calcium from our bones to neutralize the acid and, remove that calcium through our urine. So the resulting calcium urate crystals are one of the many pathogens of meat eating. In this case, giving rise to or contributing to gout, arthritis, rheumatism, and bursitis. So for us to understand further, have you heard that the carnivores like the tiger, like the wolf, like the dogs suffer from uric acid by consuming the meat of the animals, or just suffer from gout? None, right? Because they have the uric acid. But us humans can suffer from the gout, arthritis, rheumatism, and bursitis because of the flesh of the animals. Remember, there's no such person who suffered from arthritis who've just eaten a lot of mung beans on the entire years of their life. Exactly, no, right? Because even from the blue zone, we can understand that their diet is mostly comprises of grains and beans. Okay, so let's continue again to clarify the idea that beans can suffer or gives us uric acid. No, okay, it is only caused by the what? By the strong acid of this flesh of the animals. Okay, so let's continue. Another one to understand our digestion is that when an infant was born, we have never seen such an infant that was born and has given a rice or a fruit to eat. What they have given is only what? A liquid, and that is called milk. Why? Because the only thing they have on their stomach is actually an enzyme called renin enzyme. This renin enzyme is the way to digest the milk. It can never digest, it doesn't have any capacity to digest solid food. But once the babies turn 2 and they already have teeth, and little by little, renin enzyme is no longer produced and it was replaced by hydrochloric acid. And it would be the time wherein children are ready, or the babies are ready to eat solid food. Okay, so another thing about biorhythm or following the natural law is this. Okay, so let's see, the milk of the pig, is it made for whom? Of course, it is made for the piglets. How about the milk of the dogs? It's for their puppies. How about the milk of the cow? So this is intended to whom? Of course, the calf. Yes, the calf. But if we can see a child sucking the milk of the cow, is it natural? Of course it is not, because that is not her mother. But how come the people have consumed a lot of meat, even especially when they're old? Again, from the enzyme that we have studied and learned, when we have been grown at the age of 2, we no longer produce the what renin enzyme. We don't need milk. If you need calcium, you take it by the very solid food that you are going to consume. It's not actually from the meat. From the milk. So what else? You see, what can the Bible say about biorhythm? Let's understand. Okay, so seeing this picture here on our screen, well, definitely it's not natural. Why? Because the Bible says about biorhythm, it says, when I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. So there is a process, there is a growth that when we grow up, we no longer fit on the bottle, just like this man here. You see, because if you do that, that means you have a mental health problem, right? So we no longer need milk. So the quote that they're saying, or the tag that everybody needs milk in physiological function of the body or the biorhythm is not true. So let's continue. Again, emphasizing to follow the rule of the body is like this. We don't let a child suck cow's milk. Neither we let the cow suck mother's milk. Yes, this is actually intended for us to understand the dependence of human beings on cow's milk. There's a lot of study about it, the harms it does, but I just want to emphasize now the biorhythm or the rule of the body. And again, I want to read Counsels on Health, written by Ellen White, on the year 19 80s. So on Councils on Health, page 19, the violation of what? Physical law, with its consequent suffering and premature death, has so long prevailed that these results are regarded as the appointed lot of humanity. Oh yes, we do sure said that if I suffer from diabetes, it is because my mom has diabetes, or we point fingers to our what? To our, from our mothers, all of our genes. But God did not create the race in such a feeble condition. This state of things is not the work of providence, but of man. It has been brought about by wrong habits, by violating the laws that God has made to govern man's existence. If the sun shines, we work. If the moon shines, we rest. That's it. And the food, yes, we follow the rule. We follow what our teeth was intended to, our digestion was intended to. But a continual transgression of nature's laws is a continual transgression of the law of God. Had men always been obedient to the law of the Ten Commandments, carrying out in their lives the principles of those precepts, the curse of disease, no flooding the world would not exist. We wouldn't be spending a lot of money with a lot of those medications that we should be taking. Okay, so in the Bible, it says Psalms 90 verse 10, the days of our lives are 70 years, and if by reason of strength, they are 80 years. Yet their boast is only labor and sorrow, for it is soon cut off and we fly away. I just want to let you understand that even the Bible emphasizes a biorhythm. The Lord has given us a time wherein we can live 70 to 80 years of age. Right, we can. If that grows longer than that, well, definitely that's good, because in the Bible, they live 900 plus years before the flood. But if we live less than 70, that means our body's been deteriorated by our lifestyle choice. So let's continue. And so that's the reason why I emphasize the glory of God and the firmament, the environment in us is actually the work of God's hand. Okay, the world needs today what it needed 1900 years ago, a revelation of Christ. A great reform is demanded. It is only through the grace of Christ that the work of restoring our physical, mental, and spiritual can be accomplished. We all suffer from rapid deterioration, rapid aging, maybe suffering from health, suffering from a lot of things, but it is only brought about by our disobedience to the natural law that governs our nature. And in the work of God, it is not only our spiritual. Remember, most of the work of God is done by teaching, not only teaching, but more definitely on what? Restoring health and healing the diseases. Okay, so you see, it's the totality of man. The Bible foretells that we, as a human being, should have a reform. Why a reform? Because it has been long that God has given us the nature's law and we did not obey it. We just need to understand God's will for us. So our physiological function, just like what we have studied, our teeth is intended to bite the plant. And of course, what else? Our stomach. Okay, well, let's go back with the teeth first. And so that's the reason why in Genesis 1:29, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be from meat. Have you read that God has said that you are going to eat all this that has eyes, that flies, that walk, that crawl? No, God said, every herb bearing seed, which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. So it is actually the grains, fruits, nuts, and vegetables that our teeth was designed to eat. It is not designed to rip off and tear the flesh of the animals. It is not. I just want to clarify that. And so with that, our digestion. If you're going to eat a plant-based, anything that is coming from plant, and by the way, I would just like to share with you that I am on a plant-based diet for almost 29 years of my life, and I'm enjoying the benefit of it. Because if you're going to consume this kind of food, well, definitely you're not going to suffer from indigestion, constipation, and you will become healthy and you're delaying the rapid aging. So it's a lot of benefits, and the science gives us a lot of information about it. And of course, not only that, the Bible says that the sleep of a laborer is sweet, whether he eats little or much, but the full stomach of the rich person does not allow him to sleep. These household chores and every activity that we're going to do, a simple household chores, is actually a blessing. Planting all those, in Filipinos, the plantitas and plantitas who are now having a lot of interest about planting. So these are all a blessing because this will make us tired. And if it will make us tired, we would have a sweet sleep. In King James Version, it says the sleep of a laboring man is sweet. But if we don't get tired, well, we don't have way to sleep. And again, sleeping on an environment where it is dark will give us more blessings in doing a what we call a good sleep. Okay, so that is our biorhythm. I would like to share with you that our journey on the gospel is not only about spirituality. It is also the Lord designs that we are created in the image of God. So if you're suffering from a certain disease, is that God's design for us? Actually, the Lord designs that we enjoy the benefit of health by abiding in accordance with the governing laws of health. It's never too late. For us, if you are not suffering from any diseases, well, you can maintain your health and, engage more in becoming healthy. But if you're sick, you can still regain your health. You just have to do your best in accordance with God's law and try removing little by little those things that we have studied and follow the biorhythm. Then we can accept the blessing of God. And you know what? On the next day that we are going to study, I would like to share with you, because we have abused and we did not follow the biorhythm, I would share with you a lot of things about how we can recover our health. So to patch it up, biorhythm is a rule of life. Naturally, whether we like it or not, we follow it in accordance with our environment, the sun, the moon, the plants, and everything. And that is our gospel health for tonight. This is Health Coach Eileen saying goodbye for the Gospel Outbreak Proclaim. See you tomorrow, everyone. God bless.
That was a great talk about diet to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
Tama! Patuloy tayong natututo sa bawat pagsusubaybay dito sa ating programa.
This is a special segment for me, and I'm sure pati rin sa mga kaproclaim natin. And I think marami ang nakarelate.
Hindi lamang yan ang matutunan ng lahat, there are more yet to come. Kaya patuloy po tayong sumusubaybay sa ating pong programa.
Yes, thank you once again, and we hope to be with you in the next few nights.
Remember, God has more for you in His words.
Open your hearts to Him and be changed.
As we proclaim.